And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. It is Wednesday evening. Per usual, that means I'm here for a little Q&A, answering your questions. I think I've done more Wednesday evening streams than anything in the history of the Film Stock channel, so who knows, honestly, but it's fun, and I'm glad to be here, and I hope you're all having a good week. It's hump day. Been a busy week for me personally, filming and editing a bunch of stuff ahead because I'm going out of town this weekend, heading into next week, so I want to be prepared when I'm gone. But nonetheless, it is Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock where I am. So drop your questions in the chat. I'll hang out for a good while. Who knows how long these things can end up going. It just depends on the questions coming in, honestly. But hit that like button. Absolutely. You know, if you guys are going to hit the like button, if you're here now or on the replay, it helps out more than you know. Super chat is the way to go to guarantee that I get to your question, your comment, your concern. It's also a huge way to help support me and the channel. Anything goes a very long way. And yeah, keep your questions coming. Fire them off. I see we already got about 30 people in here. So welcome. Let's have a good stream, everybody. Let's do this thing. Let's see. Looking through the chat already to start. This is from Jedi Connor. Hello there. Do you think Nick Fury might die in Avengers Secret Wars? I would definitely feel really sad. I don't know if they'll kill Nick Fury at this point. I think if they were going to do that, they would have done it by now. You know, he's been fake killed a few times. I don't know if they will, because there's no one left that has that close of a connection with him. I guess they could go maybe Monica or Captain Marvel, but like his death would have hit harder with Steve Rogers or Tony Stark's reaction to it. They're not in the picture anymore. So I think that he's probably safe after the Marvels. I wonder if he's even going to have that big of a role. I'm very curious. He'll probably pop up in that Avengers movie, and I think a lot of them will show up in the Avengers Secret Wars, Clint Barton even. But at that point, I just don't know if it matters as much as I would hope that it would. So, you know, I just don't know. I don't think they'll kill him. I'm not saying he's not worth killing, but it sort of feels like that in a way. Network 98, what's good? There we go. Another Taco Bell movie reference. For those who don't know, they're probably like, what's going on here? But the Taco Bell movie reference to Network 98, every single stream is a must. We also got Toad and Bell and Burger King, some more inside jokes, I guess you could say. Wendy's, all the fast food restaurants came out to play tonight. We also have Adrian Peterson in the house, a Hall of Famer. Or I don't know. Is he yet? I'm not sure. Anyway, he will be one day if he's not. All right. Hey, Chris, what would you think if Barbie had a sequel about Ken? Ken the movie. It's doable. But I would want to see... I don't know, actually. That's a really good question. They could do it. Would they? I'm not sure. I'd rather see... It's tough. I feel like we have resolution with everyone in the Barbie movie. It's like they're probably going to make a sequel. There's not really a need, but a lot of movies make $1 billion and they go on to get a sequel for really no reason except for the fact that the first made $1 billion. Joker being a prime example of that. So I don't really... It's so difficult. I would watch it and I would tune into it. Will they do it? I don't know. So what do I think if Barbie had a sequel about Ken? I'd check it out. I'd watch it. Especially if Ryan Gosling was lead. Of course I would, you know? I mean, he crushed it. He crushed it in the Barbie movie. Bruton with the super chat. Thank you. Keep Watch Burn franchise edition. Harry Potter, Mission Impossible, Lord of the Rings. This is a good one. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Look, this is... When I do these, this is a little cheat code for when you guys ask these. I usually put the biggest emphasis on rewatchability because if I have to keep one of these, that means that it's the only one I can keep to sort of watch for the foreseeable future. Not the foreseeable future, for the rest of time, actually. So if I had to keep one of these to watch for the rest of time, I'm keeping Harry Potter. It is the most consistently great movie franchise where there's 8 films and not a single one is bad. I think there are some that are worse than others, but there's not an outright bad Harry Potter movie, and I will die on that hill. In fact, I've had the franchise rewatch bug lately. After I get back from this vacation, I might rewatch Pirates and I might rewatch Harry Potter because talking about them on these streams recently has just got me excited, got me in the mood to sort of rewatch them. But I'll keep Harry Potter. I will watch... Look, it sucks to say this. I'll watch Lord of the Rings and I'll burn Mission Impossible. I think Mission Impossible is the premier action franchise ever, period, point blank. But I would have to experience Lord of the Rings at least once because it's such a masterfully made trilogy. I can live without Mission Impossible when compared to these movies. That being said, it is the highest caliber action franchise I think ever made. So that's a tough one to let go of. But when you put it up against those two goated franchises, one's got to go. And I think Mission Impossible is the one that's got to go. So thank you for the super chats. And that was a tough one, but fun. I enjoy those. Those are some of my favorite questions to answer. They become a staple of the live stream chats, actually. Can you dance? You bet your ass I can dance. I took a theater dance class in high school where it was guys and girls, and like there were 2 shows a year. So there's one at the end of fall, one at the end of spring, and we had 3 or 4 dances in the main dance show. There's like dance periods throughout the day. So there's 7 class periods, and theater dance was one of them. And so they got 3 dances in the show, and it was a big production, but it was fun. It really actually taught me how to dance and got me in the rhythm. So I could dance pretty decently. I'm not going to say I'm a great dancer or anything, but we got to do a dirty dancing one where we like jumped out on stage, like into the aisles of the theater and went up, and we were like doing a little move. We did like a salsa one. We did tango, I believe. There was a Singing in the Rain rendition with Umbrella by Rihanna, I want to say, and that was a fun one. So there's been a lot of cool dances that I've done in my life. Shout out to the theater dance class that I took in high school. Favorite movie of the year? It's Oppenheimer. Do I think Blue Beetle will flop? I saw that it's estimated to open 30 million domestic, which is not great. I unfortunately, well, let's see. How much money does it have to make back? That's the real question here. Was the budget like 100 million, or was it close? It wasn't close to 200, was it? I hope it wasn't. I heard it's in the 100 million range, right? It depends. I think it's not going to really pull it in much in the US just because it's 30 million opening. It's going to fizzle after that, especially with Labor Day weekend coming around. People don't really go to the movies as much once school starts up for kids, really. It's going to have a big international pull. Will it flop? I kind of am in the camp of it underperforming a bit, unfortunately. I'll have a video coming out talking about why you should see Blue Beetle, though, in like the next week or so. But I don't want it to flop. I'm actively rooting for the movie to succeed both critically and commercially. I am actually seeing the movie next week. A week from today, I'm seeing the movie. It's the day I get back from vacation. I got an email about it today, so I'll be seeing the movie on the 16th, and I'll have an out of theater reaction followed by a review the following day. And then I'll do a DC tier list of every DC movie. This is a little insider info to the content you guys can expect. Not specifically DCEU, but DC movies. So the Dark Knight trilogy, Green Lantern, all the ones I've seen will be on a big old tier list. By the way, Super Chat is a way to go to guarantee I get to your question. It's a huge way to help support me in the channel, and anything goes a long way. So Super Chat is the way to go if you want to guarantee that I get to your question. And by the way, if you guys are going to hit that like button, if you haven't. Thomas in the house. What's good, Thomas? I have not watched Shrinking yet. It's on my TV watch list. I always, whenever I'm asked, have you watched this show or this movie? I always go, it's on the watch list. And that's not just me pulling something, out of my ass. Like, that's actually true. Like, I have a thing on my phone, by the way, Spider-Man case. I have it on my phone where it's in my notes. So I don't really use the Letterboxd watch list function too much. I have most of those movies in my notes and then some. And then especially for TV, there's no like Letterboxd for TV that I use. So TV is the one where there's a long, like I'd say 20 plus series at this point watch list. Shrinking is one of those. So I'll get around to that eventually, but it's just going to take some time. I know it's a quick watch, and maybe if I want to fill that Ted Lasso void, like that feel good, positive energy, I'd probably watch Shrinking because I've heard amazing things. I love Harrison Ford. Really no reason for me not to watch it. Most anticipated movies for the rest of the year. You got Saw X. You've got Blue Beetle, which is coming next week. I look even further than that. I'm actually getting pumped for Dune 2 even. So those are a few off the top of my head. I probably forgot a few there. Jacob Starcode Food Court, the man says, so on the newest podcast episode, which by the way, let me put the link to that in here right now because we're so close. Cam and I are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers over there, like 77 subscribers. So if you guys are in here, subscribe to the link, go check it out, please. It'd mean a lot, but no, when it comes down to this, yeah, I mentioned I've always been a Stranger Things fan, but the rewatch leading up made you a super fan. What would you think changed? Yeah, so I don't know if anything changed. I think here's what happened. I've always loved the show so much. I watched season 1 a bunch before season 2 came out, and I didn't adore season 2. I watched it the once, and then I watched it again before season 3. Loved season 3, but I think I sort of talked about how I don't rewatch TV as much. So honestly, I think sort of my knowledge of the show had dissipated a little bit. I wasn't as in the know with it. I forgot a lot of like like I remember the series finale, season finales, and like the season openers, but a lot of like the middle of certain seasons and important storylines, just like I was like, oh yeah, I remember this now. I wasn't as in the know with it, and so I think this rewatch really solidified a comfortability with the subject material, like a newfound knowledge of it all, and season 4 especially reaffirmed to me how great the show is, how deeply I love it. I've always enjoyed Stranger Things. It's unfortunate, but season 1 came out, and then we had to wait a year and a few months for season 2, and then the gap's getting longer between each season, unfortunately. And at times when there's so much other stuff coming out, movies, other shows, it's easy to get caught up in the other movies and shows. I'll say this, and I think this is a really big reason for me personally as to why I put Stranger Things on the back burner at one point in my life. So season 2 comes out in October of 2017. This is my senior year of high school. Georgia's having a really good season in the fall. So obviously the season comes out, I watch it. They end up going to the national championship. I'm occupied with that. It's now 2018 spring. What comes out in spring of 2018? Avengers Infinity War. What comes out a year later? Avengers Endgame. We didn't really have news on Stranger Things. We knew it was filming and season 3 was coming, but the end of season 2 didn't set up anything crazy, right? We obviously, the camera pans down to reveal, what is that? Oh, it's, as we would come to find it, it's the Mind Flayer, all that stuff. But anyway, I honestly believe that for about a year, from 2018 to 2019, I didn't rewatch Stranger Things once. I was fully focused on the MCU, on the Infinity War to Endgame, theorizing, speculation, what's going to happen. So once Endgame came out, we a few months later, we got Stranger Things 3. That revamped it for me a bit. And then the same thing sort of happened again. Get caught up in unfortunately, the pandemic happened. And all these other things pile on, school, all these other things. And so it's like, I always have had this love for it. But when the hype for season 4 started building up is when I think my love for the show was at its strongest. Very long-winded answer. I hope that clarified some things. Always have loved it, but definitely right now, I mean, I would say I am at my highest level of being a fan of the show that I've ever been. And it will just continue to grow as we get towards season 5. All right. Let's see. Cobra Kai season 5 is elite. Absolutely. So fire. You think season 2 of Loki is going to be better than the first? I hope so. That would be really awesome. I would love if that was the case. Let's see. What's your biggest guilty pleasure movie? So I don't like to even use the term guilty pleasure because it's like, I don't know. It's a weird term to me, but I'll say a movie that's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes that I love. That's kind of how I'm going to answer it. Meaning not a lot of critics recommend it. Is National Treasure, but I don't view that. I don't feel guilty about enjoying it. I think it's actually a really good movie. So yeah. Gavin, what's up? How you doing? Nicholas, hope you're also having a good day. Taco Boy, what's good, everybody? How we doing? Who's my next pick for 007? Good question. I'm going to go with, there's a few I've been thinking about. Recently, too, I had one. I swear I had one. My pick for the director is Nolan, but my pick for Bond, I think I got to go with. And look, I heard that he'd screen tested back in the day, but I got to go Henry Cavill. I got to go Cavill. He's not Superman anymore. He's not The Witcher anymore. It's time. I think he knows it's time. Him or Richard Madden would be awesome. Those are my two picks. But other than that, I got nothing really. I think those are the two front runners for me. There was another, I swear, that I've said before on a stream, but it's escaping my mind for some reason right now. But those are some good ones that I would like to see. Yo, Jason, what's good? How you doing? By the way, welcome in, everybody. I won't be able to get to every single question in the chat, so if you want to guarantee that I get to your question, comment, concern, super chat is the way to go. It's also a huge way to help support me and the channel. And speak of the devil, we just got a super chat from Cody. No pressure, Chris, but my girl and I are looking for a good TV show, but a good comedy. Any recommendations? So I don't want to give you the most generic recommendations because I feel like you've probably had. There's a high chance you may have seen them, right? So if you're looking for a comedy, I'll give you a few of some variety with comedy, right? You've got your sitcoms, okay? So it just comes down to your sense of humor. If you want a classic like cable sitcom with a laugh track, but it's also gonna like have those feel good vibes, I'm gonna recommend How I Met Your Mother. That's a great show. If you haven't seen it, I mean, a lot of people have, and I'm saying How I Met Your Mother, hilarious show. Final season's the weakest, and I'm not crazy about the ending, but it doesn't ruin the show for me. But it's got this great, I just love that show. Another one recently that I've really fallen in love with, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Vastly different type of humor. No laugh track. Awful people in the show, but they're doing such horrible things. You can't help but just laugh at the stupidity of these characters. It's a bit darker, like darker humor, but that's one for there. And then another one I'll recommend to you is a hybrid comedy drama, Ted Lasso. That show has its hilarious moments for sure. It's Jason Sudeikis doing his thing, but at the same time, it's a lot deeper of a sports story and more so a look into mental health. And I really do appreciate that show. Those are three vastly different, but any of those would be easy to binge and get a good laugh and sort of relax and turn your brain off to watch. So those are three comedy series I recommend from different subgenres of the comedy series, I guess. But hopefully that helped. And let me know if you watch any of those, or if you've seen all of them, then I have failed you. But nonetheless, thank you for the super chat, Cody. All right, where was I? You'll never see me coming. By the way, 80 people in here. Hit that like button if you guys are in here. It means a lot. Do it. Do it. And also, I'm going to drop this link. If you're in here and you're not subscribed, we are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers on the Unusual Couple podcast. Go check it out. It means a lot. And check out the new video I posted today as well. All right. I was somewhere in the chat. We got Rylan in the house. What's good, Rylan? My question today is, who are some actors you'd like to see in Knives Out 3? Ooh, I get this question from time to time, and I always kind of throw out some different answers. But I'm going to try and get creative here today because I always feel like I say the same few. I'm going to take a sip of water, though. I always throw out some big names. I'm going to go a little smaller scale with it, like personal actors that I love. I'm going to say, first of all, Matthew McConaughey, please. Please. Seeing McConaughey interact with Benoit Blanc would be amazing. So we got Matthew McConaughey in there. Let him play the stereotypical Texan. I'm here for that, all right? So we got Matthew McConaughey in one of the roles. This is really difficult. You know what? We're going to go... Okay, I got options now. So we got Matthew McConaughey, right? I'm going to go with Jason Sudeikis because why the hell not? All right. I'm just looking around my room. I'm like, let's just put together a fun cast of people I love. So we got Jason Sudeikis. We've got Matthew McConaughey. Now let me spice this up a little bit. We've got Florence Pugh. I know she's a huge star, but come on, I would love to see her in this cast. I'm also going to go with, let's keep the Hamilton train going. I'm going Daveed Diggs. We had Leslie Odom Jr. in the second film, so let's go Daveed Diggs in this movie. I would love to see that. I'll go, this is fun. I'll give you one more because I'll go two more. All right, so I have McConaughey, Jason Sudeikis. I have Daveed Diggs, and then I have Florence Pugh. So I need two more. Let's think. This is tough. By the way, apologies if I'm lagging at all. My Wi-Fi says it's doing something weird. My Wi-Fi's been weird today. All right, so let's get two more. Man, I'm trying to think. Okay, Ryan Gosling, and then one more will be, let's have a Barbie reunion. Screw it. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling together again. There you have it. And, I'll also... Wow. You know what? Nope. I was just thinking, let's get some Stranger Things people in there. I'll go with one more. We'll go with who do I want from Stranger Things? Maya Hawke. There you go. All right. Got some super chats here. Appreciate it, guys. Another Keep Watch Burn director edition. This is fun. I just put out a top 10 director video. Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, Damien Chazelle. All right. Got a pinned on this one, but let's just do this thing. I have to take into account my favorite films from the people. So I've got Whiplash and La La Land in my top 20, and Whiplash is one of my favorite movies. So that's heavyweight for Damien Chazelle. I look at Tarantino. I got the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood poster on my wall. I love Pulp Fiction, Bastards, Django, Reservoir Dogs. That's a lot of emphasis right there. I go to Nolan. The Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Interstellar, Oppenheimer. And if I burn those movies, I lose the scores associated with them. So by default, I'm keeping Christopher Nolan. I can't lose those movie scores. That would make me sick to my stomach, actually. I can't do it. All right. Can't do that. So we're keeping Nolan, especially with Oppenheimer and Tenet. Oh, come on now. We're keeping Nolan. This is so unfair, but I think I have to watch Tarantino and burn Damien Chazelle, which hurts me deeply. Hurts me deeply. I won't really miss First Man all that much. I loved Babylon, but I can live without it. It's really going to haunt me not being able to watch Whiplash or La La Land in this hypothetical keep, watch, burn scenario of directors' filmographies. But nonetheless, there you have it. Those are my picks. Thank you for the super chat. Cody with another super chat saying, who's the best actor slash actress in Stranger Things? You pose a good question here. I'm going to say, I'll give you my top three in no order. I think Sadie Sink has to be in the conversation. Just what she's able to do in that show, especially season 4. My God. I would have to say David Harbour has to be in that conversation just based on multiple scenes. One I think of right now in particular is in season 4 when he's talking to Enzo in the Russian prison about his role in life. I just gave myself like a half chill right here. I say David Harbour and Sadie Sink are up there. Now I got to give you one more. Honestly, who are the best actors in that show? Look, let's be real. Let's be real here. Caleb McLaughlin's in that conversation, I think, especially after season 4. Those are 3 that come to mind. There's not a single bad one. I mean, Joseph Quinn, Joe Keery, Natalia Dyer, Maya Hawke. This list goes on and on and on. But if I had to pick one, I think I would go Sadie Sink right now. I think she has the most promising future out of them all. We got another super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you. Rank these bad movies. Wonder Woman 84, Justice League 2017, Fant Four Stick, which so many people, I posted a short and I called it Fant Four Stick. Obviously, the movie's called Fantastic Four. The joke is that people call it Fant Four Stick because the damn poster said it, right? And it's also just a bad movie. I've never been able to finish it. It's so bad. And so many people, you can go find the video somewhere. It's my short. If you want a good laugh, people have commented they think they're dead serious. They're saying, it's called Fantastic Four, not Fant Four Stick, you idiot. And people are so upset about it. It gives me a kick every time. I just got one today, a notification. It's called Fantastic Four. It's like, I know that, idiot. Anyway, I have to rank these. Let me go to my notes app so that I can actually write this down. That would make things a lot easier. In last place, I'm going 2016 Suicide Squad. That movie, I have a vendetta against that movie personally, so that was always going to be in last. Actually, you know what? I have to put Fant Four Stick because I've never been able to finish it. So it's so bad. So Fant Four Stick's in last. Then I would go above that, the Suicide Squad film from 2016. Above that, I would go Thor: Love and Thunder. Above that, I would probably have to put, you know what? Let me scratch that. Let me see. So let me restart. Fant Four Stick at the bottom. Then we've got the 2016 Suicide Squad film. Then we've got Wonder Woman 84. Then we've got Abomination. Then we've got the Justice League film. Then Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder is at the top of this list. You might be like, what? Because if you guys know me, I despise that movie. I think it's the worst MCU film. But at the end of the day, it's more watchable than the other films that have been presented to me, which is why I have to put it there. At least I get a glimpse at the Guardians of the Galaxy in that movie. And it has, I don't know, that's the highlight. That's the only reason I can put it there. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 1/8, not even. It's it's something. It has the Guardians remotely, so I have to give it props for that. But thank you for those super chats, guys. What's your favorite Ryan Gosling performance? He's literally me, by the way. Someone's been on the Ryan Gosling meme kick. I see them all the time too. You're not alone. My favorite Ryan Gosling performance is probably going to have to be not movie. That's the kicker here. Favorite performance from him. I know this is fairly basic, but I'm probably going to have to say La La Land. Scratch that. Remember the Titans. No. His best performance is La La Land for me. Am I hyped for Echo or not? I am not terribly excited for Echo. The big thing here is it's the first MCU Disney Plus show where all the episodes are dropping at once, so they're kind of screw it. We're just going to drop it and get it over with, as opposed to doing it week to week. I've also been a proponent of dropping the episodes all at once for the longest time, so maybe they're actually wising up moving forward, and they're just going to go to that model. I think it's smarter. It just so happens that Echo's the first to do that. We'll have to see if that's, the case or not, but I'm like not terribly excited for it. And yes, everyone hit that like button, no spamming, or you will be timed out by Starcourt Food Court himself. I have not seen the All Fun and Games trailer. That's the new. It's Natalia Dyer starring in the horror movie, right? And the guy from Ender's Game is in it too. What's his name? Who's going to be Spider-Man? It's Azo Butterfield or something like that. Taco Boy says, are you excited for the Movie Critic? Oh, hell yeah, I am. Anything Tarantino, I'll be excited for. Very interested to see how this film is going to be his last. Will it be his best or not? I don't know. It's the one movie to me that where the premise just doesn't really seem distinctly Tarantino, but I'll watch whatever movie he does. He's one of the best writers of our time, I think, in terms of like writing screenplays. Do you prefer Scream 6 or Scream 5? I prefer Scream 6. Scream 6. Haven't rewatched it. I've got a boatload of posters, by the way. I might have to do a giveaway with those. Like, I was at the theater and they had like 3 variations of Scream 6 posters this size, and I grabbed like so many of them. I didn't even realize. I literally just grabbed some out of like this little display they had. They were like, yeah, they're free. And I was like, oh, bet. And so I took some and I got like a thick stack about that. Like that of paper, probably like 10 posters in there, honestly. So that was cool. They had the same thing for Mission Impossible, and they only had one design I really liked, so I grabbed that one. That's over there. I got to put that in the background pretty soon, actually. But I prefer Scream 6. I got to watch that again soon. I might do a Scream rewatch in October. We'll see. We'll see. By the way, 83 people in here. Hit that like button, guys, if you're here. Let's get to 100 likes. If you're here right now, hit that like button. If you're here on the replay, hit that like button. And if you guys want to guarantee I get to your question, comment, concern, super chat is the way to go. Also, a huge way to help support me and the channel. And I'll drop this link in here again. Go subscribe to the Unusual Couple podcast. We had a new episode drop today. Had lots of fun with it. So give that a watch. Cody Green says, what's the worst movie experience for you and Cam? Appreciate the super chat, Cody. I don't know. There's been a lot of bad ones. Recently, we saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse round 2. And these idiots were at the front of the movie theater, the second row, and there was 4 of them, and they were like probably 13. I'm just guessing here, 12 to 14 range. And the whole movie pretty much were making a ruckus. A lot of times they were just like yelling out stuff to try and like get laughs. Like I think that, I mean, in middle school, when I was in the 7th grade, I did stupid stuff. But when I walked in a movie theater, I had respect for everybody. Like in class, I definitely was a nuisance. If I was with my buddies, we thought we were the funniest thing ever. In retrospect, we were probably annoying as hell and just deserved to get like whooped for just being so rude, right? We all went through a phase, and I think in middle school, of just talking the whole class. This is a movie theater, though. People are here. They paid their money to be here. Show some respect. And they were like setting off their phone flashlight, trying to be funny. That was like distracting as hell. That was a really annoying one. More recently, though, I was at Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning round 2, and I go in more detail in this on the podcast, but it's honestly kind of disturbing. So we were sitting in the middle of the theater, like in the middle of a row, and we were like the row. So you walk in, and then you turn and like the seats are there. And so we were the first row back. There was like a row on the ground level with like handicap seating. And this like couple walks in and they have a kid who is in a wheelchair, and he, like, the movie starts, like there's no issue. And the movie starts, and he has noise canceling headphones on, but it's so evident he does not want to be there. And so the movie's loud. I don't know if you guys have seen Dead Reckoning Part 1. The movie's loud, and there's like a submarine early on in the movie. And so the kid's like screaming, like it's too loud. He clearly is in discomfort and he wants to leave, right? And the mom literally shoves her hand over the kid's mouth to like shut him up. Like the kid's flailing right in front of us. There's like glass see-through. And it's like, what are you doing? This is like borderline abusive, right? And so then he quiets down. Well, the dad goes and gets an iPad and brings it back in. And so now the kid's facing us, it's whatever. I wasn't bothered by it. Facing us, looking at an iPad, which is still glowing in the theater. This is all the first 10 minutes of the movie, by the way. And then the unthinkable then happens. This is where it gets weird. So the film gets loud yet again. It's literally a Mission Impossible movie. What else do you expect? Anyway. The film gets louder, and so the mom takes out a second pair of headphones and puts it over the first pair of headphones. I'm not making this up. So there's two pairs of headphones on this kid. He's clearly in discomfort. I mean, that would be uncomfortable for anybody to have two pairs of headphones squeezing on your head like that. And he doesn't want to be there anymore. So finally, they just get up and leave because the kid is making a lot of noise, signaling he wants to leave. But it was weird, and it was clearly a distraction for the first 15 minutes. I'd already seen the movie, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But more so than being weird or distracting, it was like, that is very questionable parenting. I'm not a parent, so I can't speak to that situation. But it was borderline disturbing. So that's probably the worst movie theater experience I've had. That was a long story, by the way. But there you have it. Those are two recent ones, literally within about a month and a half of each other. So there you have it. Those are some weird movie theater experiences I've had. But thank you for the super chat, Cody. All right. Who are some of your favorite artists of all time? Mine are George Strait, Eminem, and John Mayer. I like a lot of music. I'll be honest. I'm a Swiftie at heart. Taylor Swift is up there for me. I've been listening to Taylor Swift nonstop for a long time now. Like, this year is when my love for Taylor Swift really, I saw her in person, and I went with my girlfriend Cam, and that took it to the next level for how much I love Taylor Swift. So she's high up there. I have listened to every new Post Malone album since 2017, I'd say 2017. And he's up there for me as well. I love Post Malone. But in terms of other genres, look, you've got, let me go to my Spotify. That would help. Hans Zimmer and John Williams. They're technically a lot of people that I listen to on Spotify. But no, I would say Foo Fighters, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm not like diehard though. You get into the rock thing. It's like, I don't know all the deep cuts. Same thing with like the horror genre. I don't know all the deep cuts, but there's a lot of bangers from that I like. So those are a few that come to mind for me, personally. All right, let's do a little speed round. What do you guys think? I say why not? By the way, 81 people in here. Hit that like button, guys. Keep hitting it. And super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to your question, your comment, your concern. Favorite Marvel actor? I'll go specifically MCU, and I'm going to cheat here and say Andrew Garfield because he's technically in the MCU. All right. All right. Blind ranking episodes, that would be a fun one for sure. Definitely. What's your favorite Spielberg film? Raiders of the Lost Ark. Hard to top. Top 5 Hamilton characters from worst to best. Damn. Worst to best is difficult. Why don't I just give you 5? I'll compromise. So I would say Aaron Burr, just because of Leslie Odom Jr.'s performance vocally. I would say Hamilton. I would say Lafayette. I would say Thomas Jefferson, and I would say the King. All right, let's see. What movies will you watch in September? Did you see Gran Turismo? I ended up not seeing Gran Turismo. I couldn't make it out to the screening. However, I will be seeing it when it comes out at the end of the month. I would say September, I will watch Saw X. I will watch maybe the 4th Expendables movie. I've seen the other 3, so I might as well go see the new one, right? Possibly The Nun 2. I think, actually, yeah, I'll see The Nun 2. And then possibly The Equalizer 3. As you've been diving into horror as of late, this is true. Follow me on Letterboxd for my reviews of the horror films I've been watching. Are there any movies you plan to see this October? I recommend The Evil Dead remake and Train to Busan. So, yes, there's a lot. I've gone through the list before, but I'm going to rattle some off for you real quick. I want to watch The Haunting of Hill House, the Mike Flanagan Netflix miniseries. Where was I? Movie watch list. I got to finish out, these are going to be before October, but I got to finish out the Conjuring universe. But I definitely want to watch the Fear Street trilogy. I definitely want to watch the Paranormal Activity movies, and I have to watch Dead Silence and Death Sentence, the other 2 James Wan horror movies, because then I'll have seen every Wan directed film. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to watch Sinister now. I know you've talked about that before, Rylan, and Trevor, my buddy from Film Geek, has talked about it before too, but I think that might be the move. So Sinister might stomach it. We'll have to see. Could be crazy. All right. I just subscribed to your podcast. Good episode today. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, if you haven't, here's the link. I'm going to spam this the whole time. Everyone go subscribe. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers over there. Favorite movie fight scene? This is not my favorite, but this is up there. Goblin versus Spidey at the end of Spider-Man 1 when they're just kicking each other's ass and Spider-Man's mask's all ripped up. God, what a great fight scene. That's high up there. It's definitely not number one, but again, off the top of my head, that's definitely up there for me. They should make Oppenheimer 2 The Kennedy Chronicles to follow up that name drop. Honestly, they should. I mean, yes, I know the movie JFK exists and all that, but Nolan really teed that up like Robin, didn't he? I've seen all the memes, but like Robin at the end of The Dark Knight Rises. All right. Thoughts on First Man? It's the weakest Chazelle movie of the 4 I've seen. I haven't seen the Park Bench movie he did. But it is still very well made movie. It's just I haven't watched it since theaters. It's been 5 years. And this fall it'll have been 5 years since I've seen that movie. What's your favorite ending chapter movie? It seems like we get very few these days because everything needs to be a continuing franchise. So I technically can't say like Endgame or anything, or even like I honestly think it's Return of the King or Deathly Hallows Part 2. Movies that are definitive endings. Return of the Jedi, definitive ending, even though there's more. See, that's not a definitive ending. Deathly Hallows Part 2 and Return of the King, because there are technically prequels to those, but those are definitive endings. Those two are my favorite. Do I think Quantumania ruined the anime franchise? I honestly don't. I don't hate this movie. Haven't watched it since theaters, and I'm scared to. I really am scared to watch that movie again because I enjoyed it, and I was really in the minority. So maybe I was having a particularly good day, or maybe I actually just liked the movie, which is crazy, right? But no, I plan to watch it eventually, but I don't think it ruined them. I thought it was better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Would I do a popular movie heroes? Possibly. There's so many more iconic movie heroes than villains. It could get tough. Like Luke. So I'm going to rattle some off. Like Luke Skywalker, Harry Potter. That actually might be fun. Luke Skywalker, Harry Potter, Jack Sparrow. You know, I'm trying to, Ethan Hunt. Yeah, that could be fun. That could be fun. You know, I'll consider that. All right. We got Ben from Ears Reviews. Everyone go subscribe to Ben. He's the man. How you doing, bro? What's the movie at the top of what's the movie at the top of your watch list right now? AKA, which movie do you want to watch next that is a blind spot for you? Good question. Let me look. Honestly, it's probably, I won't say a horror movie. I just rattled off a bunch of horror movies, but I have a lot of blind spots there, from The Exorcist to The Conjuring. But to go to my movie watch list, I'm looking at it right now. What's one that recently I've been told, oh, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this? There's a few Spielberg movies and a few Scorsese movies I haven't seen. I kind of get even timid to admit that on the air, but I do it anyway. The big one for me, it's like a blind spot for you. I think that's a really good question. That's a stumper right there, Ben. I'll give you a few movies that are at the top of my watch list. I need to watch Casino. That's like the one big Scorsese movie that's like looming over me, and I'll probably watch it before Killers of the Flower Moon. I've seen Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, Mean Streets, Wolf of Wall Street, The Departed, all those movies. I just never watched Casino. I know I would love it. I've just been putting it off for years. So that's probably one of them, honestly. Is Casino. Oh, wait, hold the front door. I recently posted a video called Popular Movies Franchise I haven't seen. How to Train Your Dragon. I know that's more recent, but that's really high. I do feel like that is a blind spot because so many people have talked about it. The score I've heard before. I feel like that is a cinematic blind spot. I know it's DreamWorks. I know it's animated, but truly, I would have to say the How to Train Your Dragon films are like high on my watch list. And if not, like I watch those next, that type of situation. So that's high up there for me. I'll say that right now. Cody with yet another super chat. Thank you, Cody. What's a movie/show that everyone loves that you don't? So I have a whole video about this somewhere. But I don't want to stay on this too long because everyone will just get all annoyed. But the Avatar movies, and I've said it so many times, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. The Avatar movies, Mad Max Fury Road, and those are the big ones, really. Those are the big ones. So that's the quick hitter answer for you. Those are the big ones right there. What's the worst Pixar movie? It's The Good Dinosaur. I don't even know if it's close, honestly. It's got to be The Good Dinosaur. What are some former MCU stars you'd love to see convert to James Gunn's DCU? That's a real good question. I would love to see. I know David Harbour's going to be in, I think, Creature Commandos, and I heard him recently talk about it today. I think James Gunn said that Creature Commandos is like his favorite thing he's written or something like that, possibly. But in terms of other like former MCU stars, look, I technically probably still in the MCU, but Sebastian Stan joining the DCU would be pretty sick. I would not mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing. I'm trying to think here. A lot of the people I'm saying are still current, but former MCU star who's played a villain. I wouldn't mind seeing Gyllenhaal. I wouldn't mind seeing Michael B. Jordan. Those are a few that come to mind. Keep Watch Burn Harry Potter edition, Sorcerer's Stone, Prisoner of Azkaban, Deathly Hallows Part 2. I will keep Prisoner of Azkaban. I will watch Hallows Part 2 and burn Sorcerer's Stone, even though Sorcerer's Stone is quite possibly the most rewatchable Harry Potter movie. That movie is it's got a lot of charm to it. It's that early Chris Columbus direction. It's a great one. That's like a higher tier and not MCU Harry Potter movie for me personally, at least. Let me take a sip of water. And by the way, if you guys are in here, be sure to hit that like button. I know I say it a lot, but it really does mean a lot. So hit that like button. Super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to your question, your comment, your concern. And go subscribe to the Unusual Couple podcast. Let's see. The Unusual Couple podcast is currently at 933 subs. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Okay. Top 5 Spielberg movies in no order: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, and E.T. I probably left one out, but he just made some of the best movies ever. So there you go. Budget for Leo was 120 mil. I think it could make its money back then. It's possible. And he's a big domestic opening weekend, though. That's the big push. Top 5 Tarantino in no order: Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Bastards, Pulp Fiction, Django Unchained, and let me do this again. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Bastards, Pulp Fiction, Django Unchained, Reservoir Dogs. I think that's my top 5. Again, order kind of, we'll see. Do I think Five Nights at Freddy's will flop? No, I think it'll be a moneymaker. It comes out around Halloween. People are going to flock to see it. It's got a PG-13 rating, which is to its benefit. I do think the one thing that could hinder it from really taking off at the box office is that damn runtime, which I'm yet to see if it's actually true or not. But if it actually ends up being that long, that's a problem and a half. You don't need a 3-hour Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Not remotely 3 hours, actually. What's your ranking of these 4 movies? Dead Reckoning, John McFlure, Blackberry, and Across the Spider-Verse. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a toughie right there. I would say right now, you've done your research because 2 of those movies are 5, or one of those movies are 5 on Letterboxd, and the others are 4.5s. I would say right now, my number 1 of those 4 right at this very moment is John Wick Chapter 4. That's the 5 out of 5. I'm going to stand by my rating. Then I'm going to go Across the Spider-Verse. Then I'm going to go actually Blackberry over Dead Reckoning. Blackberry's really grown on me. So there's my ranking of those. Those are all top 6 movies of the year for me. Who's your favorite Spider-Man actor? Oh, what is your favorite Spider-Man movie / actor? My favorite movie is No Way Home. My favorite actor is Andrew Garfield from the Spider-Man world. Who's your favorite character in Stranger Things Season 2? Steve. But if you want like a new addition, obviously Max. But Steve's my favorite character in Season 2. Specifically, that's his turnaround season, if you will. Even though I liked him in Season 1, and I'm kind of toxic for that. All right. I have not watched Men in Black. there's a podcast channel for those wondering. If you want to go subscribe, check it out. Let me know in the chat if you go subscribe. What spinoff do you want to see the most? I'd love to see something with Steve and Dustin, but I don't think that's going to happen. So recently, I've thought, I heard this either through a live stream or talking with friends or the comments. I don't remember where this arose. Okay, but it was great. And it might have been in a live stream. It might have been from the damn reacting to your. It was, you know what it was? It was reacting. It was the video I did reacting to your Stranger Things predictions / theories. I would love if they did the kids of the main Stranger Things cast, like the kids years from now, but maybe not rehashing the Upside Down. Maybe a new entity gets involved or something. But that kind of runs the risk of being too repetitive. So we'll see. But I would love to see something involving their kids one day. Top 5 Nolan movies. I have a video ranking them, but I'll just go in no order. I will go Inception, Oppenheimer, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, and Tenet. Those are off the top of my head. Those are my 5. But I think that's probably not what my ranking says because it's just off the top of my head. I have to go check my ranking to remember fully. It's 3:43 a.m. Well, I appreciate you being here that early in the morning or late night, I guess. Appreciate it. Do you think Spider-Verse trilogy will get spin-offs? Yeah, I think they'll do Spider-Gwen and maybe Peter B. Parker even. I'm down for it too. Frozen Thing Studios, what's good? What's my Oscar prediction for Best Picture? Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer sweeps. Oppenheimer for everything right now. Favorite streaming service? Hard not to say Netflix right now. They've got so much quality original content and like a library of older movies that I can watch. So I'd probably have to say Netflix right now. Let's see. Welcome in, David. Glad you can make it. Hope all's well. Top 3 Cobra Kai characters in no order. Johnny, Miguel. That's like an easy. And then Sam. Honestly, Sam LaRusso. Like she's one of my favorites. I don't get the hate for her. Hot take: most comedy movies are really stupid and pointless. I disagree. A lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't at the same time. They can really get some good chuckles out of you. Thoughts on Joseph Quinn possibly playing Human Torch? Let's run it. I'm ready. I think you could totally own that role. I don't understand the significant backlash that received for some reason. We get into that next week's episode of the podcast, by the way. We talk about that. But no, I'm here for it. And I honestly just want the rumors to be over with. These rumors have gone on for too long now, and I'm done with them. Sorry to go all country there, but it's true. I mean, they're just adding to the rumor mill at this point, and I know it's supposedly Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn and Sue Storm and Johnny Storm, and I'm fine with that. Make that happen. They're both excellent choices, in my opinion, and we could sit here and speculate to the end of time, but they're both fitting. I hope they both get the roles so that we can kind of get the show on the road, if that makes sense. So Talk to Me last night. Wow, great movie. Can't wait for the sequel. Absolutely. Great film. Strong 4 out of 5 for me. I was sort of hesitant about a sequel because I like movies that have that type of ending. I'm not going to say anything else other than that, but it's fine that we are getting a sequel. I'm curious to see what group of characters it'll follow. We'll see. We shall see. Okay. Short on movies at the moment. Any recommendations? Ooh, Whiplash is a great one. Let's see. Remember the Titans if you want a sports kick. If you want to watch a fun action movie, Bullet Train. If you want a great comedy, I got you with The Other Guys. If you're in the mood for some sort of, if love is in the air, but you still want to laugh and feel good, Crazy Stupid Love. So there's some recommendations for you. Seinfeld is absolutely one of the comedy shows I was going to recommend early on the stream. I just didn't. But Seinfeld, love it. I still haven't seen Succession. It's probably, to go back to Ben's question, excuse me, this is like the blind spot for TV right now where everyone's talking about it. Multiple people I know have watched it for the first time recently. And so it's high on the priority list for television. I just got to commit. And I almost want to do this to where it's like, hey, this weekend I am starting it Friday. I'm finishing it Sunday. Let's run it and just go marathon that thing. No sleep, Succession, more Succession. Like that's what I'm thinking. So I think it's 40 eps. That's 40 hours. If I start Friday morning, I could finish by Monday. I just got to do that. I got to figure that out. All right. Ted Lasso is very, very intriguing show, worth the watch for sure. Go subscribe to Unusual Couple. I'll leave the link up here for a second. Currently at 935 subscribers, so that means a few more people went and subscribed. Check it out, guys. We got a new episode where we do a blind ranking of Stranger Things characters, and you can get a fully edited version of that with like some cool graphics actually on my channel right now. I had fun doing that one. So check that out. Yeah, if you guys haven't, go subscribe. All those of you who watch this, thanks. Well, hell yeah, that's a good feeling. I'm glad that I could give you some good suggestions right there. Alrighty. All right. And by the way, hit that like button if you guys are here. Still got 76 people in here hanging out. Appreciate you guys on this Wednesday evening. Super Chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to your question, your comment, your concerns. Also a huge way to support the channel. Ooh, Michael Fassbender would be a good 007. I kind of like that, honestly. I kind of like that pick. Our boy Magneto. I've never seen or even heard of the show Clone High. Is it worth watching? When is your next Stranger Things location video? Good question. Maybe not for a while. We hit a lot of the big locations last summer. Crazy that was a year ago. Honestly, blows my mind. But potentially, as we get closer to filming, we might have some things up our sleeves. I'll say that much. If you could have a one-on-one conversation with any director, who would it be? I think I have to say, I may have to say Christopher Nolan. I've seen him in interviews recently. He seems so delightful and so knowledgeable. I think I would say Nolan, because Tarantino, I don't know if I ever want to meet him because he's too eccentric at times and it could get weird. But I think Nolan might be my answer. So over Spielberg even. Literally, I think Nolan right now would be perfect to talk to. Okay. What are my thoughts on Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross? Yeah, I dig it. I love Harrison Ford. I mean, he's an icon of my childhood. So, of course, I'm excited to see what he does in the MCU. And that's really all I have to say about it. Captain America, Brave New World, he's going to be Thunderbolt Ross. Will he turn into the Red Hulk? That's what a lot of people are asking. We'll see. We'll see. Favorite movie of last year was Top Gun Maverick. Last year was 2022, right? I haven't watched The Black Phone, but that's another one of those horror movies on my watch list. Top 3 Christmas movies. Christmas season's almost here. I'm ready. Home Alone, easily, is up there. Elf is up there, and I honestly think It's a Wonderful Life, after the rewatch I had last year, has cemented itself as up there pretty high. It's a 5 out of 5 movie. Why would I ever be ashamed of that? I'm a diehard Swiftie fan at this point, I'd say. Not diehard, but up there. Yeah, I love Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie. I'm not wearing my Karma shirt today, but of course I am. I think a lot of people are afraid to admit they are Taylor Swift fans. All right. I don't really care for Mike all that much. Not really. Not really. Simply Cinema, what's good, dude? How you been? What's better, The Departed or Good Will Hunting? Good Will Hunting. Battle of the Boston movies right there, huh? All right. What's the scariest movie I've seen? Probably going to have to say The Conjuring is up there. Talk to Me is up there, but Talk to Me is more disturbing, but it still made me feel so uneasy. Those two are probably pretty high up there for me. Those two movies. All right. Who's my favorite member of the Justice League? Batman. Love Batman. Sadie Sink not getting an Emmy nomination was what a sick joke that was. Indeed, what a sick joke. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very frustrating. She was outstanding in season 4, and I don't understand it. That's just me though. This profile picture is a reference to a quote I just threw out. But anyway, top 3 franchises. I will go Harry Potter, Star Wars, because that encapsulates the entire world of Star Wars with all the great TV shows and movies we got, and then the MCU. There you go. There's 3 right there. The basic ones, but they're the best ones, I think, to me. Hold on. All right. Are you interested in Acolyte? Absolutely. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do. I'm not really going to hype myself up too much for any upcoming Disney Plus show just because they've dropped the ball time after time again, and I don't know if I can have confidence or faith in them at this point in time, but a show that early in the Star Wars timeline excites me. This is before The Phantom Menace We've never explored that territory in a live action series. So bring it on. Bring it on, honestly. Please be good, though. Please be good, That's how I feel right now. Am I going to see the last voyage of Demeter or Gran Turismo? I'm going to see Gran Turismo, probably skipping last voyage of the Demeter. It has the actor who plays Davos in Game of Thrones, though, so that's cool. But no, I'm probably going to skip that one. The trailer didn't really do it for me. I don't really want to go out and be like, I'm going to go see this in theaters. It just doesn't seem like a movie that I would. It maybe could be good, but it just doesn't look all that good to me. So I'm just skipping that one. Scream 2 or Scream 4? Man, I think it's Scream 2, but it's close. I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch to really remember or go to my recent ranking video, but I think I prefer Scream 2. It's closer. I mean, maybe 4. It honestly just depends. Ellie says, hey, Chris, recently saw your villain tier list. If you included Ghostface, where would he be on the tier list? Good question, Ellie. I appreciate you watching that video. The reason I didn't include Ghostface, I intentionally didn't, was because there's a lot of reveals with that character that I didn't want to ruin for people who hadn't seen the Scream films. And the other reason is, unlike the other horror icons, like Ghostface is sort of a new. I don't want to say too much, and I know you guys probably know about it, but Ghostface is a lot different than the Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, stuff like that. So it didn't feel like one character necessarily, is what I was trying to get at. Dancing around spoilers, but I didn't include Ghostface because which iteration of Ghostface would I be talking about? It's almost like at that point I'm just talking about the mask. So it's hard to say if I were to pick my favorite iteration of Ghostface from the first Scream film. A tier, really. I mean, that version of Ghostface is fleshed out. I'll say that. Okay. A tier. Specifically that version, though. Would you ever do a live stream watch along? Well, Preston, I got some news for you. I've done many. I've done many over the years. I know there's a lot of new faces here, and I welcome you all. But over the years, I have done live watch parties for new shows, starting with WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Book of Boba Fett. I did some for the Bad Batch. I did some for Loki. I did some for Hawkeye, which I think I already said. But I've also done a movie watch along. I did Sky High a while ago, but I think that's of a bygone era, if you will. I don't know if I'll ever return to that. I had a fun run with it, but it's I think I'm done. I'm done. And I've explained why before, but I just the watch parties were fun until they weren't, and it became draining staying up until 3 a.m. for a show. I was physically exhausted the next day. It killed my productivity. It was killing my mental health. I won't go back to the 3 a.m. watch parties, but I mean, I'm not opposed to doing a organized thing where I'm like, hey, at 8 o'clock on Saturday night, let's watch Pirates of the Caribbean. Something like that would be fun. I've never explored it, obviously. Well, technically have with Sky High, but other than that, the new watch parties, I think I'm over those. Even for Stranger Things, I would not do that. I would want to do it on my own. So it was a fun era, though. Are the Scream movies really scary? Not to me. Not really any slasher is really scary to me. They're more spooky or violent, but not like, oh, that's so scary. What's your favorite Cillian Murphy film? It's hard not to say Inception, even though I loved Oppenheimer. Hello there. How you doing? Greetings from Belgium. Well, welcome from Belgium. What's your all-time favorite movie or actor? My favorite actor. Oh man, I like Brad Pitt right now, so I'll stick with that. Batman vs. the Dark Knight. I get asked this one a lot. I lean the Batman. I know that's sort of blasphemous to say, but I lean the Batman. Movie Deans has been enjoying your stuff. Well, thank you, Movie Dean. What are some of your favorite movie posters? Ooh, that's a good question. So I have posters over here and posters over here that are not in frame. I actually have a Whiplash poster I'm a big fan of. I have a poster of Back to the Future, but I have to say that the Top Gun Maverick poster right here is pretty clean, and I have a Mission Impossible one on the floor over there that's gonna get hung up soon. That's really neat. But all-time favorite movie poster, like that I don't actually own. That's a good question, honestly. There's a lot of iconic ones out there. Jaws is just so sleek. Honestly, that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood poster I'm looking at, the way it's like a callback to the classic Hollywood era posters, I dig it. I dig it. So that's up there for sure. What do you think of Saw? I just watched it. All-time movie for me. All-time horror movie for me, I should say. And some of the best reveals I've seen. That's all I'll say. Black Adam or Eternals? Eternals. Best duel in Star Wars. It's hard not to say Obi-Wan and Anakin on Mustafar, but I mean, I'm going to throw a bone to Return of the Jedi, Vader, Luke, because of the pure emotion there and Luke being lured to the dark side. That's a great one too. I also like the Duel of Fates, Maul, Kenobi, and Qui-Gon. The Little Mermaid, I looked this up the other day. I think The Little Mermaid ended up losing money. I think it had to get to like 682 or 628, and it ended somewhere in the 500s. So I think it did lose money. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it did, unfortunately, which shocked me. I thought it would do better than it did. All right, hit that like button if you guys are in here. We'll keep going for a good bit. There's still a bunch of guys in here, and I'm so behind in the chat right now that there's no way I'm going to get to every question, every comment, every concern you might have. So super chat's the way to go to guarantee that I get to your question, your comment, your concern. It's a huge way to help support me in the channel, and it pops up right when you send it, so I'll be able to click on it right away and get to it. But yes, let's do a water break real quick. And then a speed round, possibly? Maybe, maybe not. All right, most anticipated movie of 2024. We're going Deadpool 3. Best movie of 2023, Oppenheimer. Best Guardian song. I can't lie. I know it's recency bias, but Dog Days Are Over is high up there right now. Megan Fox is in The Expendables 4. I don't know if she's been in a movie in forever, but she's in one now. Thoughts on Saving Private Ryan? I think it's the best war movie ever made that I've seen, at least, easily. Thoughts on Dunkirk? A brilliant movie directed by Nolan that puts you in the shoes of a soldier, and the way that it has the perspective switches from the land, the sea to air, masterful stuff. Nolan doesn't miss, really doesn't miss. Some of these I've answered before, so I'm just kind of skipping over them because I've already answered them on the stream. Have I seen Akira Kurosawa movies? Seven Samurai, Hidden Fortress, and I think those are the two I actually own. But yeah, those are both good. Hidden Fortress is like the Star Wars inspiration. Those are the two that I've seen, though. Least favorite DC movie? I mean, the 2016 Suicide Squad is a stinker. What do I think Nolan's next film will be? I think he's going to do a Bond movie. I truly believe that. Guardians 3 is an S tier movie. That's a fact. Do you think you do a top 20 favorite movies video? Maybe one day. I mean, I've trying to put together a top however many movies list. It's really difficult for me, but I have like a draft in my notes somewhere. So I'm not shutting this down entirely, but one day I could do a ranking of sorts. We'll see. Quantumania or Across the Spider-Verse? Across the Spider-Verse, easily. Easily. All right. Thoughts on the Diary of a Wimpy Kid trilogy? I've never seen the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, and I'm ashamed to admit that. But I've read, I think, 5 or 6 of the books. Like, I've read a ton of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. I just never saw the movies for whatever reason. But is it worth watching? I mean, I quote that one scene. Is it with what's the character's name? Rowley, maybe? He's like, "Don't call me. Don't come by my house." That kills me. I love to quote that with Cam. That's such a funny line. I've seen the meme of it on TikTok. There's the podcast channel, by the way. Everyone go subscribe if you have not already. Check it out. Currently at 936 subs, so close to 940. Can we get to 940 by the end of the stream? Keep watching Burn, Home Alone 2, Age of Ultron, and Scream 6. Keep Home Alone 2, Lost in New York easily. That's such a rewatchable movie. I mean, it's almost on par. It's actually on par with the first for me, damn near. They're almost equals. I will then watch. I feel like I have to watch Age of Ultron just to be in the know. It's a very important MCU movie that introduces a lot of concepts moving forward. Meaning I'll burn Scream 6, even though I love Scream 6. What movies come out in October? Five Nights at Freddy's. You've got... That's the big one in October. For some reason, they moved Saw to September, so that's no longer in October. But looking ahead to October, I'll tell you guys in a sec. Killers of the Flower Moon is the other big one, and this movie called Pain Hustlers comes out on Netflix with Emily Blunt and Chris Evans. So those are a few that come out in October. There's obviously more, but those are a few. What Avenger that hasn't gotten a show or movie do you think should get one? DC too. For DC, we need more on Green Lantern, like an actual updated Green Lantern. So that's someone from the Justice League. For the Marvel side of things, I mean, everyone has actually. We need a new. No, we don't. I was gonna say we need like a new Mark Ruffalo Hulk project. We really don't. But I guess that would be my pick. I don't know. That's a tough one. Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones? Give me Phantom Menace, baby. I love that movie. Do I think they'll make another Transformers? I honestly don't for a while. They don't need to. They don't need to, in my opinion. Like, I'm good. I subscribe to you a couple. Well, thank you. They should make a show called The Babysitter about Steve. I'd watch. Let's see. Looking for there's a lot of repeat questions here, so I'm kind of just looking through. I watched Superbad last night. I'm gonna say it, arguably the best comedy of all time. Oh, the argument is there, no doubt. The argument's there. The movie is like laugh out loud funny. It's so damn funny. And Bill Hader and Seth Rogen as the cops, honestly, might be my favorite characters. They're so damn funny. That whole movie's hilarious. Speaking of comedies, favorite comedy movie, mine's Hot Fuzz. I've actually never seen the Cornetto trilogy. I know, but when it comes to favorite comedy movie for me, Superbad's in that conversation. The Other Guys is high in that conversation. This Is the End is probably in that conversation. I've rewatched some bloopers lately. They make me laugh my ass off. So I'd say those are up there for me. I could be forgetting some. I likely am forgetting some, but those are definitely up there. Hot Rod is hilarious too. Why make another Fantastic Four movie? Because everyone's got to be in the MCU eventually, so they can have everyone in Secret Wars. Rank the Craig Bond films. Number one's going to be, because right now I'm going to say number one, Skyfall. Number two, Casino Royale. Number three, No Time to Die. Number four, Spectre. Number five, Quantum of Solace. 1 and 2 are interchangeable on any given day. Banger podcast. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll drop the link again if you insist. Should I watch Sopranos? I should watch Sopranos. So yes, you should, because it's on my watch list as well. I've seen one episode about a year ago now. I watched the first episode, but I just was tired. It was late at night, so I have not revisited. Caesar, what's going on? Worst Rocky film, Rocky 5. What a stinker that movie is. The worst movie, and it's not even close. It should be removed from the Rocky franchise. It's so bad. All right. My guess is Talk to Me 2 releases late next year for early 2025. A24 Studio is indie, so they aren't tried. Yeah. Wow, yeah, I could see that happening for sure. Got a super chat. $10 super chat from Bruden. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Do you see Killers of the Flower Moon or Dune 2 giving Oppenheimer a run for best movie of the year? Do you have any other dark horse movies that may usurp Oppie? Loved the way that question was worded. That gave me chills in a way. Look, I don't think anything is going to overtake Oppenheimer as film of the year. I haven't seen a movie of that caliber in a while, from a technical level, from just everything firing on all cylinders, the direction, the performances, the writing. It's a beautiful movie. I don't know if anything can take it. I damn sure don't think Dune 2 will. Dune 2, I think, will be very good. It will win me back over, because I wasn't high on the first Dune all that much. Like, it was a fine movie. I didn't get on the hype train for it. I'm starting to feel the hype for Dune Part 2, though. It looked like the movie I thought Dune would be. But no, when it comes down to this, I honestly, let me be real. Killers of the Flower Moon is the one that could. But it's also 3 hours and 26 minutes, which is about 30 minutes longer than Oppenheimer. I mean, but it's got De Niro, DiCaprio, Jesse Plemons, Brendan Fraser. It's directed by Scorsese. Those two movies could be in a dogfight for Best Picture and just directly competing. You've got Nolan versus Scorsese, the battle of the legends at the Oscars. That's why, honestly, the Oscars have won me back over this year. If Oppenheimer gets all the nominations, it should. I will watch literally just for Oppenheimer and root for that. And if I love Killers of the Flower Moon and Dune Part 2 when they get nominated, I'm right back in the mix of it, you know? So I don't know if either of the films will pass Oppenheimer, to answer the first part of that question. Of the two, Killers of the Flower Moon has the better chance because he got Scorsese behind the camera. Now, when it comes down to the back half, do I have any other dark horse movies that may usurp Oppenheimer? Let me go to my watch list and see if I have any on there that could potentially. It's tough. I do have a dark horse. I have a dark horse. I do. You ready? Let me take a sip of water. A lot of people don't know this movie's coming out. Dark horse movie that could usurp Oppenheimer is David Fincher's The Killer. This movie is going very under the radar. It stars Michael Fassbender, Tilda Swinton, and here's the synopsis. After a fateful near miss, an assassin battles his employers and himself on an international manhunt he insists is not personal. So it seems a little more action heavy in terms of a Fincher film. It's not going to be, you know, in the same vein as like a Seven, Zodiac, or Fight Club or Gone Girl, where it's like this really dark psychological thriller. It seems more so like a action movie in a way, which I don't know if we've really seen David Fincher tackle. But I am still really on board, and anytime David Fincher directs a movie, I'll be excited. Even Mank, which I thought was bad, I'm still going to be excited for any movie with Fincher behind the camera. So I'm going to say right now, David Fincher's The Killer could be the movie. I do think it's going straight to Netflix, so that's interesting. However, Killer of the Flower Moon is going to Apple TV Plus in theaters. So, hey, anything's possible. I will say a very dark horse is David Fincher's The Killer, but I don't know if anything's taking down Oppenheimer. In fact, I may order the Oppenheimer screenplay and read it because I am fascinated with that movie. And they did extend the 70mm IMAX run. And I'm trying to go at the end of August. I haven't seen tickets go on sale yet for that extension. But when they do, I'm trying to get tickets to go because that would just be, I feel like a once in a lifetime type experience. You just got to see, you know, Oppenheimer in 70mm IMAX. So there you have it. There's my essay answer to your question. Thank you very much for the super chat. And again, super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to y'all's questions, comments, concerns. Also a huge way to help support the channel. Anything goes a very long way. All right, back to the chat. I concur. I think I just clicked this so that I can kind of find where I was. All right. I already answered this, as I said. I'm using it as a marker to kind of see where I was. Okay, I answered this as well. I also answered this and this. Peace, Megan. Hope you have a good night. Favorite movie pre-1970s? Good question, Andy. Let me go to my letterbox and see what I've rated 5 out of 5 from before that time. And then I'll tell you. That'll be my easy way to do this. All right. So 5-star movies. I have a thing for it. I'll say Psycho is up there. I will say West Side Story, the original, is up there. I will say It's a Wonderful Life is up there. Those are a few that come to mind. So I would say those off the top of my head. I really like 12 Angry Men, but I need to rewatch it. But those are the ones in recent memory for me that come to mind, like I said. All right. Been going for an hour and 15 minutes. It does not, an hour and 13 minutes. It does not feel like it, like at all. I've never really watched anime, and I probably never will. It just doesn't seem like something that's my cup of tea. Ian says, what is one movie that you will absolutely flip out if they announce a remake? My answer is Back to the Future. Leave that one alone. Yeah, valid. I would probably say, what's something that's untouched right now where they haven't done a sequel or a reboot? Because they've technically made all the sequels to Star Wars. Back to the Future, honestly, I don't want them to remake. I don't want them to touch that. That would be annoying. I would say maybe if they ever try to remake Jaws, that would be like spitting in its face. You can't remake a movie like that, you know? I could just see it being a god-awful with a CGI shark. So I would say Jaws or Back to the Future, like any classic Spielberg movie. Like if they were like, hey, we're just going to remake Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're not going to make, you know, a new Indiana Jones. We're just going to remake it. That would be the biggest slap in the face. Like that's how I feel about this new Harry Potter series on HBO. It's like, oh, well, the books weren't fully accurate. The movies weren't fully accurate to the book, so they can pull from that. It's like, can you not visualize what you were reading on the page? Like, that's the movies are their own thing. The books are their own thing. If it's just going to be a direct thing from the book, I don't care. That's just how I feel, at least. I have not seen it follow. Should I add it to the horror movie watch list? Let me know. All right. Okay. College football's right around the corner. I feel it in my blood. I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Scariest Stranger Things season 4. I think it has to be, right? That's the intensity of that season with Vecna. That's definitely the scariest season. Hyped for Ahsoka series. I'm excited but cautiously optimistic, simply because Disney Plus and Star Wars have let me down in the past. So I gotta go in with moderate to low expectations there. As much as I will be watching it, I just gotta chill out. I gotta chill, relax. Water break. Here you go. I never watched Renfield. I probably never will. Gotta love water. I already have a Stranger Things character tier list, so I won't do that again until probably season 5. Let's see. I want to play a game. I do play on Twitch. I have a Twitch. You can check it out. Link down below. I Twitch stream. I do. And in fact, you can follow me over there, and I can't guarantee it, but I might Twitch stream tonight. I don't know. We'll have to see how I'm feeling. But I do. I play Spider-Man, Uncharted, Batman, the Arkham games, sports games like NCAA football. I enjoy video games. I don't play as much as I used to, though. If I play, it's on Twitch, is what I'm saying. Fall Guys is a fun one. All right. Trying to answer some I haven't answered. There's a lot of repeat questions here, so I'm just scrolling. If I've answered them like in this stream or very recently. All right. Do I rely on reviews or rating before watching a movie? I don't. I just go watch the film and I judge how I feel. If a movie has bad reviews or good reviews, I just kind of throw it out in my mind before I go to the movie, or I try to. What's your all-time favorite Western? Probably The Magnificent Seven, the original. That one's high up there for me. Fond memories of watching that growing up. Here is this, by the way. Everyone go sub if you have not. Currently at 940 subscribers. So one step closer to reaching our goal over there, which is awesome. Where are we at? Let's see. Cool. Do I think there will be a new saga? I do. There's a never-ending saga. They could call it the Mutant Saga. They could call it the X-Men Saga. They could do anything they want. Probably the Mutant Saga, honestly, will be they call it. But we'll see. That's just my guess. Way too early guess. If that ever comes true, someone come back to this and clip it, and I can post it, and people will be like, "Oh, he's a time traveler." Okay. I'll go for like a bit longer. So if you guys want to guarantee, if you have a burning question you're trying to ask, super chat is the way to go to guarantee I get to. It's also a huge way to help support me and the channel. Hit that like button if you guys are in here right now. Do it. It helps out a lot. And how many likes is the stream currently at is the real question. Currently at 77 likes. So if you're in here, hit that like button. If you're on the replay, let's get to 100 likes. I believe we can do it. Little Polar Express reference right there. And there's the unusual couple. Who would you rather die, Max, Steve, or Dustin? I mean, Max is like half dead already, so probably her. I mean, I just don't want to. I don't know. That sucks. I don't want any of them to die, but Max, because I've already watched her die. It's one of those things where it's like I've already watched her die, so it won't hurt as bad, hopefully. What's good, big ballers? How you doing? All right. If Leo was in the MCU, who would he play? Maybe Norman Osborn. That could be pretty fun, pretty crazy for him, huh? Is Killers of the Flower Moon scary? I don't think it's a horror movie. It's more of a drama. Jack Kennedy, what's good, Jack, man? How you doing? Just hopping in, just left TMNT. No, you won't be seeing it, but it was super fun. Using teen voice actors brings a lot to the characters who aren't meant to be teens. Yeah. who are meant to be teens. Sorry, yeah. I won't watch it, like I said, maybe on digital by the end of the year or something. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I've heard everyone who sees it has a pretty fun time. It's like a really just pleasant movie to watch, apparently. Do you think Marvel will reboot their whole franchise? I think years from now they'll do a new Iron Man movie and Captain America movie, but it will be a long time coming. They're going to have to go back to something. So yeah, there's going to be a new Iron Man and Spider-Man, even if that's just variants. They'll figure out a way to do it. But you got to have those characters around one day. I think you can't run this forever. Thoughts on the show Invincible? I enjoy it. I need to rewatch it before the new season. I haven't seen the Adam Eve special episode, but I will watch that all before the new season comes out in November. Don't you worry. Barbarian or Smile? I haven't seen either film. I've seen neither of them, unfortunately. Better villain, Dooku or Maul? Ooh. Maul, because we've got the Rebels and Clone Wars content to pull from. I'm going Maul. Nolan directing a Bond movie? Bring it on. That's my pick right now. I want him so badly to direct a Bond movie. Really, really want to see that. Oppenheimer making more than Little Mermaid is crazy. Yeah, honestly, I never would have expected that in a million years. Oppenheimer's still killing it at the box office. It's having long legs, and you love to see it. I'm so happy it's extending its 70mm IMAX run. Polar Express, one of the greatest Christmas movies ever. It definitely has that nostalgic feel to it. Heard the better version of Remember the Titans. That's a great, what a sick joke. No. How do you feel about the boys? How do you feel about the boys? Are you excited for Gen V? I really like the boys. I've had the urge to rewatch that recently, and I will be checking out Gen V. I think that comes out next month, so we're not that far away from it. Really cool. Raiders or A New Hope? Oh, that's so difficult for me. Really difficult. A New Hope's had a bit more of an influence on my life at an earlier age, so I feel like I have to give the edge to it. But Raiders is right now. I would choose Raiders over it right this moment. Favorite TMNT movie? I've seen none of them. And what are you most excited for in Marvel? Right now, Deadpool 3. I have one sibling. I have a brother. Top 3 movie soundtracks. I'll go the Guardians films, 1, 2, 3. That's a cheat, but there you go. Favorite NFL team? I don't have one because I don't really care about the NFL. I was a Falcons fan years and years ago, but I dissociated from them, and now I just watch the games for quality entertainment. I don't have a team, and it makes it really nice, honestly. But I'll take like 1 to 5 more questions, like 5 more. So make them good ones. Super chat them in if you got some burning question you're dying to ask. If you want to get some last second question in, super chat is the way to go. And hit that like button again if you guys are in here right now or on the replay. It goes a long way. Currently at 80 likes. So if you're here on the replay, help me get to 100 likes. And then a usual couple podcast channels at 940 subscribers. Go subscribe if you haven't. I'll drop the link right here. But I'll take a few more questions. What's your Fantastic Four fan cast? I'm not going to say because we're going to actually talk about that in next week's episode of the podcast. It drops next Wednesday, 1 week from today. Bruton, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support in the stream, man. And I appreciate the kind words. It was a real fun stream. It flew by an hour and 22 minutes like that. But thank you for the super chats. Thank you for asking some great questions, man. Spider-Man 3 underrated? I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. It is underrated in my opinion. It's not perfect. It's flawed, but man, it's actually a really, really good movie at the end of the day. Really solid watch. And so memeable. God, I love to talk about the jokes and memes from that movie. Most overhated Stranger Things character? Overhated. Do people hate Eddie Munson? I'll say the people who are like, oh, Eddie ruined Stranger Things. Anyone who thinks that, I think, is childish. So the people who hate Eddie Munson, I'll say Eddie is overhated by a lot of people for some reason. Never really made sense to me. But yeah, I'll end with this. Do you think Deadpool 3 will make 1 billion? It's very possible. I think it's going to have that No Way Home effect where the social media hype, the return of Hugh Jackman, the marketing, it's going to be a perfect storm. And I think people are clamoring for a good movie. Like Deadpool hasn't been in theaters in forever. I'm thinking so. I'm thinking that that's going to do 1 billion. So with that will conclude this stream here on this Wednesday evening. Thank you all so much. If you were in here active in the chat, just watching silently, I appreciate it. If you hit the like button, thank you guys so much. If you're here on the replay, because I know time zones are crazy, Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. If you sent in a super chat, if you were just watching, again, it really does mean the world. Stay tuned for a lot more content coming in the next, few weeks, really ramping it up in terms of shorts and other videos on the road to 100K over here on Film Stock. And then again, check out, I'll put this link in the chat one more time. Check out the Unusual Couple podcast, amping that up as well. Weekly uploads over there. So a lot going on, busy times, but I'm having fun with it all through and through. And I appreciate you guys at the end of the day. I couldn't do any of this without you and your support. So thank you. Thank you so much. But I'm going to go eat some dinner. I'm going to go relax, maybe watch a movie, maybe do a Twitch stream, little impromptu, random Twitch stream. We'll see how I'm feeling. But that's going to conclude tonight's stream. And I will see you guys in the next live stream, video, piece of content, all that good stuff. Peace.